Well, it is Saturday, and I am in the office Saturday before the Super Bowl, and I'm just knocking some quick work out before a very busy week for our law firm, both in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. A lot of our content this week and last week was focused on the Super Bowl, not so much the outcome of the game, but more or less advising people on the common crimes and offenses we see surrounding it. Now, obviously, this year the game features Philadelphia Eagles, which is in obviously in Pennsylvania, where our law firm maintains a practice there, as well as in New Jersey. So it's obviously a special time in the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. A lot of people are having parties, and in the event that the Eagles do win, they are expecting large crowds. And obviously, after a win, there's going to be a parade eventually. They're saying they're not sure when it's going to be because we're expecting some snow, but the point of the articles is really to outline just the common crimes and offenses that we see. And people, unfortunately, sometimes think that because there's a Super Bowl win or a World Series win or some special occasion, the laws are somehow relaxed. And they simply aren't. And in previous years, recently, obviously, Philadelphia has had teams in World Series. They've had the Eagles now in the Super Bowl. I think it's three times in the last 8 years. The Phillies have been there. I want to say it's like three times in the last 10 years. And they won one. The Eagles have won one. The Eagles have been to the Super Bowl a second time. They lost. People are expecting this time for them to win. So this city has had parades before, and we've had celebrations mostly in Philadelphia. I know the surrounding towns have had things on their own, but more or less the majority of the crowds are obviously going to be in the city of Philadelphia. What we've seen over the years, a lot of the offenses we see have to do with alcohol. Again, people think that the rules don't apply or somehow they're relaxed, but whenever you have large crowds and alcohol, but there's a strong possibility that you're going to have possibly criminal offenses. And when there's police officers involved, and there's contact with those police officers, those charges can escalate from what could be just a summary offense or a misdemeanor offense to a felony offense. The common crimes that we see, are things like terroristic threats, aggravated assault, disorderly conduct, even riots. We have seen those charges before where we have police officers trying to restore order to a crowd that's simply getting out of order. And there's somehow a person decides to be the leader of the one disrupting everything, and they're charged with inciting a riot. Obviously, if there's contact with the officer is injured, you could have an aggravated assault. Remember that typically an aggravated assault involves serious bodily injury, but when you're dealing with a protected class like police officers, EMS, firefighters, it's escalated. So if you injure an officer in the course of their duties and they're in uniform, obviously, you're looking at a felony charge. With regards to drunk driving, there's going to be an increased presence both in Pennsylvania and New Jersey on the roads. The officers are aware that people are going to go watch games at bars, local establishments, people's houses, and they're going to be leaving. I mean, in fact, they actually know when the game's going to be over. So you can look for increased presence, especially around, I guess, around 10, 11 o'clock, whenever the game is over. And probably toward the end of the game, you're going to see increased presence on the local streets and highways. So, I mean, if you're going to a party and there's going to be alcohol, have a plan available, Uber, or simply have a designated driver, or walk, or do whatever you have to do, but don't drive your car. If you have been drinking, don't try to estimate your BAC. Well, I don't feel drunk. I've written articles on things like tolerance and intoxication. There are two different things. You could be drunk legally, but not necessarily feel drunk. We've represented a number of people like that. In our blog, which is at gambonelaw.com, all of my blogs and my books have discussed these points. If you have questions, 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania, 856-793-7429 in New Jersey. That's my cell phone going off. Weekends, typically, we receive a lot of calls. There's probably a call coming in now when clients we understand that a crime can happen at any time or any place, and we make ourselves available. With regards to if you are stopped for suspicion of DUI in Pennsylvania, WI, New Jersey, do not refuse the chemical test. They'll never have a criminal case. If the officers want to search the car, do not give consent, but do so in a respectful manner. Remember, the officer doesn't have the power to let you go if he or she says, "Oh, if you just tell me what happened," or Tell me what you did. I'll go easy on you. It doesn't work that way. Just remain silent. Be respectful to the officer. Give your name, license, registration, proof of insurance, and then let the officer go from there. But do not refuse the chemical test. Do not get in the officer's way. With regards to searches, remember that warrantless searches are permissible in New Jersey. In Pennsylvania, they need a warrant typically to search a car, but do not get in the officer's way. If you have questions, 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania, 856-793-7429 in New Jersey, the website gambonelaw.com. As always, a tremendous resource for you and your family. Have a great weekend. Please enjoy the Super Bowl responsibly, and I'll talk to you all very soon.